Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are watching 13 Reasons Why. This episode 7 of season 3. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the series so far, and we are flying. We're literally past halfway now, literally, and you know, I'm intrigued and excited to find out who has possibly killed Bryce. Now Clay, it looks like he's going to be arrested in today's episode. He doesn't know the police are coming after him, but we did finish the episode prior to this one with them looking at the CCTV of him pointing the gun at Bryce when obviously he stormed up to his house and Justin come and talked him down from it. And now obviously they're looking into this Bryce's obviously murder, and they found these tapes, and now he's going to get called in for questioning, which is going to be exciting because I don't know you know, what the mood's going to be like in his house. It finished great, you know. He come in, you know, told his mum he loved her, told his dad he loved her, he loved him, moved a photo on the fireplace and was like, look mate, boom mate, we need to get a family picture of Justin up there. That was after we had an interesting episode of Tony and about his family and how he's lost them and had been deported, and now he's fighting to try and get them back, and he sold his car to Bryce. And we've seen Bryce interesting backstory as well. You know, he's on like a little redemption arc. Obviously he's dead now, but like before that he seemed like he was trying to make amends for all the bad troubles that he's caused in the past. Now it'll never always be accepted by everybody, but you know, you got to acknowledge improvement when you do see it. Now it was his funeral and we did get protests. You know, Jessica's group did go there, they put banners down, he was calling him a rapist, he disrespected his family pretty much during that time. But you can't just say they was disrespectful. You have to obviously understand where they're coming from as well, and like they have kind of justification for it. I just think that like what's done he's done now, and he's dead, and just let his mum and dad cry or whatever and just let the day go, and then you could protest and do whatever the next day. But you know, they decided to protest, and we got an interesting segment between Bryce and his dad in the past because his dad was there, and we're still trying to figure out, you know, who's done it and what would possibly be the motive to obviously take Bryce out in this season and not the last two. So I can't wait to find out. Hopefully you guys are excited too. If you are, please smash the like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, let's jump into today's episode.
A minute ago, you told me you just went over there to talk to him.
I mean, I did.
So that's just talking.
It was the day we found out that Bryce was gonna get away with everything.
But he didn't get away with everything.
Yeah, he did.
And what happened to the gun?
Justin got rid of it that night. He threw it in a dumpster downtown somewhere.
We threw it out behind some restaurant downtown.
Did Bryce and Clay have any reason to fight over you?
No, I mean, I can't imagine.
I know this must be a shock. Discover that a boy you cared about, a boy who seemed good, could be capable of something so violent.
But maybe you thought you needed to protect Ani from Bryce. Kind of how you thought you were trying to protect Hannah back then.
I wasn't protecting Hannah. Hannah was dead. I wasn't trying to save anyone.
And Ani was living with the person who hurt Hannah.
It's not the same at all.
Clay and I had fun together.
You just ripped my favorite character to shreds.
Your taste of shit. Sorry.
This is shit, sorry. You root for Acid and Zymorg?
The Percy's only personality trait is to save everyone.
Hi, Mom. This is Ani.
I've heard so much about you.
You have? Fascinating. We had a good deal in common.
That was good.
Nerds. It is not dress up, it's cosplay. We're all in costumes all the time, trying to become the thing that we're wearing. Why else do you read AKR?
For the storylines and the literary quality.
Oh, yeah, the literary quality, alien killer robots.
What do you know about the interactions between Ani and Bryce?
She told me they barely talked, that she kept her distance from him.
And you believed her?
Yes.
Alone, it wouldn't be the first time Clay loved a girl if he didn't love him back.
I think Hannah did love Clay. I'm not gonna lie, just before she says that, I think Hannah did love Clay. I just think it was mixed, as in like Clay didn't seize the opportunities. That's what I was feeling anyway. But Hannah didn't seize it as well. Like they was both so close. It's like touching, but like nobody could take that thing. But then when it did get took, it was after. It was bad timing. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes shit just happens, and it's meant to be, but it's not meant to be because it's just timing's all wrong. Like if it was a couple of months before, would have been perfect, but then after all the chaos, it was just like, Do you know what I mean? And I think that they both did love each other. Now, she was saying about clothes, mate, you know, like, why is it that you all wear clothes? We're all costume, we're all trying to be someone. Mate, that's not me, literally, no joke, right? Everything I buy is on a sale. Sale, mate. What's the dearest item that you've ever bought? I've never bought a pair of trainers, like, over 70 quid. That's about $90, literally. Somebody else might have bought it, man, not me. Like a t-shirts, yeah, only on a sale. This is about 15 quid probably. It's like 50 on a normal. I'd never buy that. Literally never. I think clothes are absolute rip-off. Brands, absolute rip-off. But also, she was saying about, you know, you like reading comics because it takes you, transports you out to like a different world. It takes your mind off things. Mate, Ready Player One is a great book to read, takes you out of the world, but then the concept of the book is sick as well. Inside the book, they put a VR headset on and then they move into another virtual reality world and they live two different lives. It is sick, mate. The book's amazing, the film's great as well. That's a good way. If you've not seen it, check it out. It's really good.
Of course that house had a security camera.
Wait, you knew this happened?
Yeah, Justin told me about it.
Was he in love with Hannah?
Obviously.
About Hannah, the tapes, the trial.
Almost nothing. Do you know where Clay went after homecoming? Did he go home with Justin?
Justin was with me. But Tony was with Clay at the game. Maybe he knows where he went after.
Ani's fingerprints were found all over the inside of Bryce's Range Rover.
Okay.
That's not odd to you? You said she kept her distance from him.
I think they knew each other a little bit, but that's all.
You don't think it's possible that they were intimate?
No.
Found those in Bryce's room. Had them tested. We found semen that belongs to Bryce. Either way, I think you found out, and it was more than you could handle.
Men walk around with their shirts off all the time.
I am not now, or have I ever claimed to be a man. We can just measure over your clothes and subtract the...
Oh, just calm down and measure.
Excuse me.
We're done here. Clay, let's go.
We are in the middle of a friendly conversation.
No, you're interrogating him, and you're harassing him, and we're done.
Clay gave his consent.
Did Justin? He's 17.
We left word for you.
At my old firm, that's hardly reasonable effort to contact.
Clay didn't do anything.
He threatened to shoot Bryce.
That was a long time ago.
Where did he even get a gun?
It was one of Tyler's.
Just saying, he got crazy about Hannah. Like, when he found out that Zach slept with her, even when he found out that I just kissed her, like, as a friend.
You know what, I was going to say, I was going to say, he's always in denial, Clay, isn't there? And I was actually going to use the Zach situation about where he sat in court and he just explained his summer that he had. And he was like, yeah, me and Jess, we kind of got together. I mean, me and Hannah, we got together and we had sex a few times. Actually, it was all summer, you know, like we was in a relationship, but then I'd said that I didn't really want it to be exposed to my friends like Bryce and that because they'll make fun of him and stuff, and he wants to keep it between them two. And I was like, well, that's definitely the end of their relationship, and it turned out it was. But then as soon as Clay heard that, he went straight over, why are you lying? You know, why'd you say all that stuff? You're just telling lies. And every time, like in other situations when people have said stuff about Hannah, boom, on the back, you're lying. That's not happened. Why are you telling, you know, why are you not telling the truth? And again, boom, straight here. They're not hers. They're not hers. You know what I mean? And then like, we see in the flashback, and they are. But like, I'm not saying that she slept with Bryce. To be honest, my personal opinion so far in the situations that we've seen of Arnie with Bryce in the backstory, I don't think that... Yeah, I don't think that she slept with Bryce. I'm going to go with she's not slept with Bryce. I feel like she's a concerned friend. I feel like, you know, she's one of them people where she understands that Bryce has got like this crazy backstory that everybody kind of hates him, but like her experience with him and being around him in the house, that she's not minded him. And like she's found Bryce in his like redemption phase where like he's actually being okay. And like he's come in, she's heard all these rumours, but her experience is he's okay and she's spending time with him as a friend. I don't think that she's ever like sexually attracted to him, so to speak. And I don't know, from the clips that we've seen, I feel like she's being a companion for him. I don't think they've had sex. I could be wrong. I'm always wrong, actually. I'm actually always wrong. But I'm going to go with that one anyway. So it'd be interesting to find out whose stuff is on that underwear if it's not Bryce's.
Don't find Percy attractive at all. So you don't have a type, but Percy is not your type.
This is very interesting to you.
It is, because he's Percy.
I learned Clay could be jealous. I hadn't realised.
Yo, her hair looks well short.
Under the table, we'll kick you at the bell.
My mom used to make me clean, but then I just made a point of being really bad at it.
I asked my mom if she could make a list of like which chores I had to do on which day, but she doesn't show me the list.
Just show me anything, and then every day there's this new list, and that list just never ends.
I'm a member of at least 6 non-existent academic clubs.
My mum nearly caught her out the other day, didn't she? Well, Clay wasn't really that
Why didn't you call
jealous
me
then.
right away? Hey, what the fuck were you thinking?
It doesn't matter, okay? I was upset and I borrowed the gun from a friend and gave it back.
What friend? Justin, do you know?
Leave him out of this. You think I did something? I don't fucking believe this.
Okay, hey, let's just take a breath.
Dad, you believe me, right?
Of course I do.
You withheld.
You think I could kill someone?
It doesn't matter what I think.
Yes, it does.
Wasn't fast then. His dad was fast. She wasn't. She didn't say no. That's not reassuring to him. There we go. It's a wound now. He's got to go and pick all that up. Fuming. That was good. But I'll go back to that there where they're saying, was he just not like, was it that he was thinking about her, or that he was kind of like seeing her and hearing her, so to speak? That's where I got confused. Well, not confused. Like I thought it was like a ghost that he was seeing. But once I posted it, I think everybody was telling me that it wasn't actually a ghost. It was a figment of Clay's imagination, and he believed that he was having a conversation with Hannah. I might be mistaken with that because we do get quite a few comments, but I believe that's what people are saying. I thought that he was talking to a ghost. I was saying, like, mate, could he touch her? And, and like he's having a full-on conversation and all that. And, like, why is she dropping in and out of situations, so to speak? Why is she always there? Why would she? I think it was I might have been about that episode. I was like, mate, she's egging him on. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's like, she wants him to shoot Bryce, and I think everybody was saying, look, she's not even there. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's something that he's processing in his mind, and that he's creating that conversation when it's not actually a thing. And I was like, all right, I obviously like misread that. So that's why it's always good to actually post stuff as well, because you always learn. People always get different things out of situations, and like when you miss things, people always point it out, and it helps.
Clay didn't do anything to Bryce. He wouldn't.
He hated him.
Everybody hated him. All these people hurt me. I hurt some of them, and I don't know how any of that gets made right. The only one who ever reached out, the only one who ever really gave a shit about me was Clay.
Nice watch, that.
My dad's in Geneva. He sent me an apology. No note or anything. It's implied by the price tag. You and Clay Jensen are hanging out.
Friends.
I bet he has some things to say about me.
No, he doesn't like you.
That's an understatement.
What did the cops say to you?
They think Bryce and Ani had a relationship. She told me they never did.
You believe
Well, believe her? Yeah. Well, I would believe what people tell me, but
Clay was invested in our friendship.
Does your mom know that we're working on this together?
Does your mum know everything you do?
Well, clearly yes.
This is for me, Mum doesn't need to know. And she has this idea of who I am, and it's best I leave her to it.
Well, she doesn't know the things you love, like cosplay and stuff?
It's just easier.
Listen, you know you don't have to be anyone with me, right? Like any particular anyone, except you, is all you have to be.
wait, what? She just said that she should have realised that he wanted more.
Hey, what up, Jensen? Ani, you need to ride up the hill?
She's fine. She likes to walk.
Who likes to walk?
There was never anything romantic between me and Clay. I mean, we never even kissed or anything.
True, what happened? The kiss happened. Well, obviously, one of them was just a lie. The kiss was a lie, or her telling the story is a lie. I'm saying the kiss actually happened, which makes me more interested, because she said earlier on in the episode that Clay was into. She should have realised that Clay wanted more. And I was going to flip it and say, do you know what I mean? Like, can you blame people in those situations? Like, I actually even said it in season 1 about Hannah and Clay. The way, like, she got him in certain situations, like, alone and acted, and, like, she was flirtatious around him. And I was like, mate, if he's read that situation wrong, I don't blame him. Do you know what I mean? And again, it's here. I think that I have no problem with males and females being friends, totally friends, non-sexual. Like, I've got loads of female friends, but, like, the way we've became friends is always been in, like, a group environment where you've established like a friendship relationship, and then you can hang out and chill all the time on your own. Do you know what I mean? So I've got like loads of friends that I could go and have meals with and drinks and cinema and bowling or whatever you want to call it, and it'd be totally fine, like nothing at all. But like if I first met them just singular, not in a friendship group, and we'd done all that stuff, then even I would misread those situations as in like, are we going on dates or and we're not. Like, what's happening here? Do you know what I mean? Where, like, if you meet in a clear socialized non-relationship type of venue vibe and friends, that boundaries established straight away. Do you know what I mean? And Clay's never had that. It's always like, singular, come to my house, we'll do this. Do you want to go coffee shop? We'll search for this. And it's like, he is getting confused, but she did kiss him, and I'm going to go with that was the real story. He looks crazy there, though.
Hell, they had you down there all day.
Yeah, I was trying to break your record and stay all night, but... Sorry, that was humor.
I totally forgot about that homecoming, me. There we
You're
go.
lying for Justin?
Alex, Jesus, calm down.
You told Ani that you were with Justin after homecoming? What the fuck?
Alex, you need to calm down. The way you are, all of this isn't you.
You know, keep lying so that you can keep fucking Justin.
He was that guy one night. And the rest of the time, he's the kind of guy who would save your life if it needs saving.
One night, he was that guy. He could have been once more.
Do you really think he could do it?
We agreed. Not at the funeral.
No, you said not at the funeral. We did not agree.
People were in mourning. They were in pain.
Well, fuck their pain. What about your pain?
I get it.
No, you don't. You don't get shit. If you did, you wouldn't be back with Justin. This is a fight, Jess, and you started it. And you can't finish it, and that's fine. That's fine. But you are not going to stand in the way of those of us who actually want to make things change. And you going back to the guy who let you get raped is not okay.
That was a good scene, that. Do you know what's interesting is, like, the Jess one with the Justin, it's a tough one. It is a tough one. She can make her own choice and whatever's. And, you know, what she's saying there, though, is Justin knew that she was being raped. And, like, he didn't do anything about it. And she ain't lying. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a fact. That is a fact. Now, I know Justin didn't take part in none of the actions, but he knew what was going on, and he could have prevented it, and he didn't. And, you know, I'm not slagging Justin off, but, like, when you use that concept and then, like, she's with Justin now, so to speak, from an outsider perspective, like another victim from somebody else, they can't get it. Like, the head can't process it. Like, Justin's as much guilty as Bryce, and they could never see themselves getting with their victim, and they don't understand that. Like, why is Jess doing that to Justin? I feel like it throws a spanner in the works between them, and it could end up not being a thing anymore. But I get where I totally understand where the other females are coming from, like 100%. I just think, like, what Jess said is true as well, though. Like, they're not making no change, and they're not doing anything, and they're not benefiting anything. All they're doing is making noise and putting eyes on them. Now, I understand getting eyes on you is the first step to getting heard, but I don't know. I also believe that there's time and place of doing things, and, like, that one at his funeral was wrong.
What the fuck's going on? I just have to say, with respect to everybody, you're my fucking hero.
Y'all act like they want dating for years.
I don't want to hear it, Zach.
So don't listen to what anybody else says. Just take care of her.
What is that? What was that?
You don't know the whole story.
You were lying to me the whole time. As long as I've known you.
No.
You're a liar. You even told me that yourself. That was so stupid.
Just thought I was some lonely girl with her walls up, waiting for the right guy to break them down and save me from myself.
Bryce! To save you from Bryce, the guy who
You refuse to see as anything but a monster. Tyler nearly murdered all of you, and you did everything you could to help him.
Nearly.
That's not the same. No matter what you did, he was always going to be who he was. This whole fucking world is better without him in it.
Clay sees the world the way he sees it. Does what he thinks is right.
Nah, I'm gonna totally counter her here, right? She said that he's changing, yeah? Would you want your whole life to be judged by a mistake that you've done in the past, yeah? That's what she was saying, and, right? My counter is, you change, like, no, you don't. So say, like, me, I wouldn't want to be judged at something that I'd done when I was 10, for example. Now I'm 20. I've adapted and evolved as a person. You know what I mean? Like, somebody who does something when they're 16 and gets put in prison, like, obviously not killing somebody, but they might do a crime or something and they get put away. And then when they're 30 and they've totally changed, they could come out, they could be helping the community, they could have seen the error of the ways, and the personality's adapted, they've grown up, they've matured, they're so helpful, they're not the same person. They're not being judged from the past, they're being judged from the present. I always think everybody should be judged by now. but she's judging Bryce by her only knowing him in the now. So like what she can't get her head around is that everybody that's been suffered off Bryce's actions will always be suffering of Bryce's actions, and they'll always hate him. So like, yes, your argument is valid that Bryce shouldn't always be judged from his past, otherwise he'll never be able to move forward. But he has to leave the place that he's absolutely destroyed and done those actions in. For example, he's raped Hannah, he's raped Jess. He can't just fucking walk around Liberty, yeah, like he's like nothing's happened and let everybody just forget about it. No, everybody's gonna hate him, and he's gonna be a rapist to every single person that's in that society. You and New, you've been picked up and dropped in. You don't know his story, so you only know the Bryce that's changing. He is changing. I've acknowledged that he's changing. But I would acknowledge that he is the rapist and he deserves everything that comes to it. Maybe not death, but the way Clay acts to Bryce, he deserves it. He doesn't deserve Clay's respect or Jesse's respect. Like, he's lost it. He had it. He done his crime, and now he can be judged off it. You can judge him, yes, because you've got a different personality to Clay, a different view, and a different Bryce that you're experiencing. But Clay's is never going to change because the actions have already formed his opinion and he's set on it. So you're correct, but you're wrong at the same time. You think Clay should adapt and change because Bryce is progressing forward. When that's not the case, you can adapt and change because you don't know Bryce. You only know him now as this Bryce. If he wants people to not judge him from his past, he needs to leave. He needs to go away, start a new life, not stay and try and recuperate and cling on to any connection that he's got to the past when everyone hates him.
Are you friends with Clay Jensen, is that correct?
When we first met, he warned me about things Bryce had done.
Did you ever say anything to Clay about your home life with Bryce?
Clay knew that I lived there.
And you and Bryce, you were friends?
Not really.
Some amazing shit in that attic.
But I'm never hanging out with you ever again. You're evil.
I know. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have risked you getting in trouble. You've been really nice to me.
That's well interesting. Bryce is like, yo, man, never expected this.
When Sheriff Diaz called me in last week, I lied. Bryce and I mean, we were just two kids.
We shouldn't be doing this. It's not good. I mean, for you.
Hey, come on.
There's something wrong with me. You shouldn't be here.
Maybe not forever.
I'm surprised you don't go to therapy because acknowledging it is a massive progress.
I wasn't thinking. You want things even when you shouldn't, and you don't know why.
I've never felt like this with anyone. I don't know what that means, but I just wanted to tell you that.
What happened between you and Bryce? I can't explain it.
You're not here.
You think I'm gone? You think you got rid of me? I'm fucking immortal. I'll be everywhere you look, as long as you live. Fucking Jessica. Fucking Hannah. Fucking Ani. No! You're not well, Clay. You need help.
The minute you hire a lawyer, it looks like you're hiding something.
He does look crazy, Clay, when he sees them.
Protect. Can you tell me that in the past 2 years you haven't been surprised by what Clay is capable of?
That's the worst, when your own parents start doubting you.
You're right about a lot of things. Clay Jensen is a dangerous kid. What happened to you?
I walked home from school. What the fuck are you doing in my room? Are you afraid of me?
That's interesting that way, you know. It's a good angle that we're going with Clay this season. I mean, I'll stick with it, me, that I don't think it's Clay, but I would love it if it kind of was Clay. Just like proper spanner in the works, innit, mate? Definitely unexpected. Now, I said earlier on in the episode, I didn't think it was, you know, it was true. Annie and Bryce had sex with each other, but then I said, I'm wrong. I'm always wrong. Mate, I'm fucking always wrong on every single show that we watch. I try and give someone the benefit of the doubt, or like I try and guess something, and I'm totally way off, and it always happens. Now, do you know what? Massively conflicted with Bryce, because I hated him in the first 2 seasons. Like, proper hated him. Like, I would say he's my most disliked character of the show. Even if you include this season 3, he's my most disliked character of this 13 Reasons Why. But I would kind of say he's my favourite character this season so far. Like, if you try and break it down Jess hasn't been in it hardcore. Neither's Justin. Neither's Alex. And, you know, neither's Zach. So who we're literally left with? Like, Clay and Arnie and Bryce. Pretty much. They're like the only ones. And Tyler. But then, Tyler's been in it a bit. And so's Tony. But I don't think heavily good focused storylines where these three have. So I think I can only narrow it down so far in the 7 episodes to these three. And I'm actually enjoying the Bryce storyline because he's dead as well. So it's like, whoa, who's killed him? And I'm seeing him like personality change in the backstories as well. Like I can see it changing. So then I'm like, all right, it's interesting that he's trying to change. And then like he's like, you know, speaking with you know, Alex and kind of like helping him out and going to his dad's thing and standing up for his dad. You know what I mean? And then like this with Arnie, I'm like, I'm really interested in it. You know, like I'm actually enjoying it. Now, like I said, he's my overall hated character throughout the 3 seasons, big time. What he done will never be forgotten. And like I said, when I was moaning about Arnie, she's trying to moan to Clay that, you know, people can change. And would you want to be held to like one mistake that you've made all your life or something? It's like, no, I wouldn't. But, like, the people that I made that mistake to in the area that I made it will always have suffered. And they'll always acknowledge that. And they'll never forget. So, like, if I want to move on, I have to move away. That's called moving on. Sky done it, yeah? She didn't want to be around Liberty. She didn't want to be around the area. It wasn't good for her mental state or whatever. And she decided to pick up and move different states and start fresh. New school, people don't know who she is. Don't know past dealings. Don't know trauma and stuff like that. And she could be somewhere new and start fresh. Bryce needs that as well. Not here in the present. You're new and you're fresh. And you're coming in at a new angle. And you're only seeing like the new and improved Bryce. But we all know the old one and what he's capable of and the pain that he's caused people. And we judge him off that. Yes, we can acknowledge that he's growing, but it doesn't mean you have to like him. And that is literally where Clay's at. So I'm on Clay's side on that one. I understand where she's trying to come from, but no, you know, Clay's right in absolutely hating him. In terms of it could be Clay, who knows, mate? It's well interesting. Like I said, I'm liking the storyline between all 3 of them. What I actually don't like is how quick they are to possibly suspect a friend. So, like, last episode, they was like, oh, could be Tony. This episode was like, oh, it could be Clay. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's jumping the band. And I'm sure we're going to get an episode where it could possibly be her. And then Clay will be interrogating. Maybe that's next. You're afraid of me, but what about you? And then we get all this backstory in the next episode. Do you know what I mean? So I'm excited. Okay, and that's going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. Very interesting this season, you know. It's kept me guessing, honestly. I never expected, you know, Arnie to have a relationship with Bryce. I consistently believed the stories that she'd been saying, you know. Call us a fool if you want, but you know, when people say stuff, I believe it. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that's my personality, I don't know, but clearly we have some liars going about. Now, I don't know, you know, what she was thinking, really. It looked like she kind of liked Clay, but not like in a relationshipy style if you was listening to her narration. But then when you watch the episode, she's kind of like flirting with him and getting close, and she kissed him. But then if you look at obviously like the backstory with Bryce, he's kissed him as well and sleeping with each other. Do you know what I mean? They're having sex more than one time. It wasn't just a one night thing. It's like a consistent thing. And then it seems like Bryce is catching some feels. Obviously he told her how he felt. She like woke up, she's like, shit, mate, you should have wanted to be like friends with benefits. You need to get that line drawn straight away, don't you, mate? So like nobody falls into that category. But again, when you do have those friends with benefit kind of things, you always get that one person that gets clung onto the emotions. Now I get where Bryce might actually do that, because like I said, mate, you know, it's with the starting over new and fresh, so to speak. He feel like probably no one would look at him again in, you know, in that town, and like, you know, he's gonna have no female attention, and it's the first person that's shown him a bit of affection, and he's latching onto it and he's trying to hold it. Do you know what I mean? And like, I can kind of get why he might be falling for Annie, because she's beautiful as well, and she's showing him a lot of interest. Now speaking about like relationships, you know, Alex has gone and kind of like blurted out in front of the whole school like Jessica is in a relationship with obviously Justin. You know, obviously he's not happy about that. Now he's saying that you covered for Justin. Now this is obviously after the football game, you know, when they all had a big scrap, and I don't know what's happened there. Everybody's unaccounted for. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we had Arnie kind of like questioning Clay all episode and trying to get answers. We had you know, Tony ask him when he come to the school, and then he flipped it and said, can you recall all of your actions that night? No, guess not. Do you know what I mean? Now we've got Alex saying, why are you lying to Jess about obviously covering for Justin, what happened to him that night? And then obviously we've got that news of their relationship being released into the school, which obviously got everybody talking. The whole locker room obviously like cheering Justin and stuff like that. You know, it's like they've never dated before. Do you know what I mean? Like, they went out together for ages, so it shouldn't be like nothing new and like celebratory worth. But like how Zach said, look mate, if you love her, treat her right. Do you know what I mean? That's what a friend should be saying. Now they all left and Justin got something out of his bag. I have no idea what it was. It looked like a deodorant can or something. I'm not too sure, but Monty was looking at him through the window, like kind of like weirdly suspicious. Now, Jess has gone to that meeting or that council thing, whatever it is that they're doing, and that girl's confronted her. She's kind of saying, like, how can you do this? Do you know what I mean? Like, how can you get with the person that let you get raped? Now, that's Jess's choice. Now, obviously, their perspective, they're treating it as if, like, she's getting back with the person that's done it. Do you know what I mean? With their abuser. And, like, I can kind of see where they're trying to come from with that angle. And you got to respect their view, but then they've also got to respect Jess's. What I find about this show quite a lot is that people have their opinion, but then they don't respect somebody else's. So, for example, if I say something and then you say something, it's like I attack you because you've got a different view. Do you know what I'm saying? And they attack me because I'm different. Like, people are not allowed to have different like views on people or situations. Like, it's either they want everybody to be on the straight and the same stuff. And like, it's interesting that I don't know if she's going to be involved in that or not, but she's saying that there was right to protest Bryce's funeral. Jess said there wasn't. They're saying that every time they shout, people turn and they look, and it's, you know, picking up like eyes and it's raising awareness. Where Jess is saying it's not really, you're just making noise. You're not getting anything successfully done. You're just causing chaos, which I kind of get where she's coming from as well. Now, like I said, this episode was interesting because I never suspected Anna to have any sort of relationship with Bryce at all. And now they're trying to pin it on Clay being like mental, so to speak. His mum's trying to say, you know, maybe we can get a plea saying that, you know, like he's mentally unstable. If he was seeing things and hearing people, then, you know, we can go down that avenue that he was unstable. Now, Annie tried to say as well, mate, you know, she said something about, yeah, Clay, you know, do you reckon that he could kill Bryce? He went there with the intention of like doing it, but then she tried to like compare it to like a Bryce situation, like about Bryce raping Jessica and like Hannah, and it just wasn't the same because his actions actually happened where like Clay's actions didn't. He went there, he pointed the gun, he didn't kill him. So like, even if his intentions was to kill him, he didn't do it. So you can't compare. She was trying to compare it as if to say, you know, like, you can't be hypocritical. You say one thing and you kind of do something when you can really, because one actually happened and one didn't. And you can then flip it as well and say, like, you know, Tyler, kind of the same with the Clay thing. Like, he was going to go and get the guns and shoot somebody and he didn't. He was talked down out of it, and now obviously he's kind of getting on with it. And now if you think about it, Clay went there to kind of shoot Bryce and he didn't, and he was talked down and he's kind of getting on with it. So do you know what I mean? Very interesting actually. So we're on episode 7, just past halfway. Can't wait to see obviously what's revealed later on in the seasons, because definitely didn't expect the past 2 episodes anyway. It's been really interesting. So thanks for checking out today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please smash like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers guys.